Guys, if you haven't checked out PrizePicks by now, you are missing out. The best and easiest way to play daily fantasy sports every single game day. It's super simple for the NFL. PrizePicks lets you pick from a number of player projections like passing yards, touchdowns, rushing yards, you name it. They also have other sports like NBA, NHL, and college football. Just pick 2 or more players, put them in your lineup, and boom, you're done. It's super simple, just you and the player projections. And to get you started, I partnered up with PrizePicks to give you guys a deal. When you use my code DoubleMove and play just $5 in lineups, they'll give you an automatic $50 more to play with. That's right, get a $50 bonus just for playing your first $5 in lineups. So, what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description, use promo code DoubleMove, and get started today. PrizePicks, daily fantasy made easy. Well, that might have been the dumbest I've ever seen. The Cowboys lose to the Bengals 27-20 in a game that meant literally everything for the Cowboys' very slim playoff chances, and they lose to Cincinnati. Now, we're going to make this short and sweet tonight. It's getting late, and I'll be making more videos tomorrow and over the next few days because there were some good things sprinkled in throughout tonight's game, and I feel like I need to talk about those. But for tonight, let's hit the major points. Let's go over the positives first, and then we'll talk about the negatives because those might drag on a little bit longer. At number 1, a positive for tonight, Rico Dowdle, the offensive line. Rico averaged 7.3 yards per carry, 131 yards on the ground on 18 attempts. He didn't have a touchdown, but he was very efficient tonight. Some of that has to do with how bad the Bengals defense is. Some of that has to do with how well the offensive line played. But I also think you have to give credit to Rico Dowdle. Ever since the Cowboys made it a point to make him the number 1 running back, give him pretty much the entire workload, he has been fantastic. I was a big Rico believer going into the season. I was upset that they weren't giving him more opportunities early on, but now, even though it's a lost season at this point, it feels good to see him playing well, carrying this Cowboys backfield, keeping Ezekiel Elliott off the field. This was actually his second 100-yard game in a row, which was the first time that the Cowboys have had a back-to-back 100-yard rusher since like 2022, some point midway through 2022. So I think Rico's just proving that he can be a running back 1. Is he going to be a top tier running back 1? No. But he is good enough to carry the workload. You don't average 7.3 yards per carry and not be a halfway decent back. I'm not going to add this section into the good parts of the game. We'll just call this the meh section before we get into the negatives. The meh was the defense. I mean, they bent a lot in this game. Joe Burrow had 369 passing yards, 3 touchdowns. The Cowboys did force 1 interception, and they sacked him twice. But he threw the ball 44 times and only had 11 incompletions. Jamar Chase caught 14 passes for 177 yards with 2 touchdowns, and then, of course, had the game winner at the end. Now, before the last 2 minutes of the game, Dallas only gave up 20 points to this Bengals offense that has been scoring a ton of points against really good NFL defenses. So I would consider that a win. Am I saying that they played completely fabulous? They were just awesome? No, they were, you would want a better performance if you could get one. You would hope that Joe Burrow wouldn't be that efficient over the course of a game. But the fact that they forced the interception, they had 2 sacks, they got a big stop to get the ball back, I would say that unit played well enough to win this game. They gave a bad Cowboys offense every opportunity to win this game. Then you factor in that they lost DeMarvion Overshown, I believe, in the 3rd quarter, their second or third best defensive player. I would consider tonight a success, a step forward, even if it doesn't mean a whole lot. So while we're on the topic of Overshown, let's talk about some bad things. We have to talk about the bad. The Overshown injury not good. He had the knee thing, a guy landed on him, he was engaged in a block, and then a probably 325-pound lineman fell on his knee. Now, we're not going to speculate, but he was immediately ruled out, which isn't good. And for a guy that has already had an ACL injury in the NFL, to see him go down like that, be in pain, and then have to leave the game and immediately be ruled out. And at this point, we're just going to have to wait and see what's going on with Overshown, and hopefully it's nothing too serious. He can get back out there on the field this year, or at least for OTA's training camp next year. Now, I was going to talk about the Cowboys' red zone offense that I had it written down in my notes to talk about, but we're not. We're just going to completely skip that because it doesn't even matter. So we're going to talk about the Amani Oruwariye fumble at the end of the game. Not just any kind of fumble. The Cowboys block a punt or partially block a punt. The ball goes past the line of scrimmage, and instead of just simply moving out of the way, Amani Oruwariye decides that he is going to be the hero in Dallas tonight and tries to catch the ball. And in the process, he doesn't catch the ball. He fumbles it away. With a minute and 50 seconds left on the clock, Dallas has all 3 timeouts. They're getting the ball back. The game is tied. He tries to catch the ball. I can't stop. I can't understand what he was thinking other than, I'm going to take this to the house. This is going to be the greatest thing that's ever happened. It doesn't make any sense. What kind of football IQ is that on your team? Just simply move out of the way. And I said in my game preview video, if the Cowboys were going to win this game, if they were going to score points, if there was ways that they could manufacture points, help out the offense, do stuff like that, it had to come from special teams. That unit had to help this team win the game, but it ended up costing them the game. Just a completely ridiculous series of events. Dallas went from getting the ball back, tied 20-20, partially or blocking a punt, to the Bengals getting the ball at like the 40-yard line. And then 2 or 3 plays, they score a touchdown, and now Dallas has 50 seconds or whatever, down 7. And obviously, I mean, all of you are probably very pissed off about that as well, but Micah Parsons was absolutely fuming on the sideline, and I can't really blame him. That was the end of the Cowboys' playoff hopes. That was it. That put a dagger in it. I think Dallas had a 3 to 5% chance of making it into the playoffs, and that dropped to less than 1% because now, even if they went out, they're going to finish 9-8. There's no chance that they make it now. So that was the Cowboys season. That's how it ended, on a play just like that, and it just summarizes the entirety of how the Cowboys 2024 season has unfolded. A practice squad player, somebody that's missed time with an injury, comes in there and pretty much loses the game. And that completely sucks. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I love you all, and I'll see you later this week. Bye.